How are you? I hope fine. I'm going to speak about drones in Latin America and how we're trying to implement it with software system. This is a little agenda. All my life I have been working with drones and robotics. I have more than 15 years in experience in C, Python, Autopilot. Now I am working in a company developing a SAP module for managing a drone fleet with artificial intelligence for image processing. I am in charge of a group of 7 people. First for all, some I know, others know, but an ERP is enterprise resource planning is the software that some companies have that run all the process inside. Resource planning, management, relation with customers, maintenance, etc. Companies are going to be the big-scale UAV consumers in the market. Making Autopilot or Pixac easy to operate platform for ERP system is crucial to develop the Pixac ecosystem in something more robust and easy to use. SAP is a very popular software. For example, Apple uses SAP to manage business process. Coca-Cola company utilizes SAP for inventory management, business forecasting, another backend process. Walmart employs SAP solutions to handle its immense supply chain and distribution network. Now it's doing drone delivery with the people of What's Innovation and Drone Up. Microsoft Corporation uses SAP for various internal processes to streamline operations. Johnson & Johnson, involving pharmaceutical, medical devices, and consumer goods, use SAP for enterprise resource planning and to manage other aspects. P&G, known for its wide array of consumer goods, use SAP to aid complex planning and logistics. Ford Motor Company use SAP in almost every aspect of this company. Lockheed Martin uses SAP to handle its complex project building and logistical challenge. Pfizer is a leading pharmaceutical company that uses SAP for management its production, sales, and distribution. 3M also uses SAP. There's a lot more. There's a bunch of Latin American companies that use SAP too. My company has these actual clients. Some are in the power and distribution generation, some are in construction, some are in lithium mining operation, and so on. Now, there's some challenge and difficulties to overcome when we have to use drones in a corporate way. First of all, we have the government. In Argentina, we have the ANAC, it's like the FA here, that is the Aeronautical Administration. And it has a very lax regulation regarding to drones. Every regulation it has like an exception. For example, using drone beyond line of sight in urban areas, ANAC requires to simply have a land immediately or manual flight in case something happens. Also, ANAC is not willing to take some restricted regulation because they don't want to make difficult implementation of UAVs in the market. like remote ID was in the first introduction here in America. Other challenge is that UAV needs trained personnel. A good UAV pilot is not only have to have knowledge about how to fly the drone, a good pilot has knowledge of electronic, motor, ESC, propellers, and this is a bottleneck for companies because a good UAV pilot, it could take up to 6 months to train. Other challenge is the use of standardized protocols. Some UAV companies are not willing to standardize a way to communication, or they don't even want to implement Mablink. Another challenge is the disconnection between the data generated from the UAV and the payloads with the software system. Almost every specialized payload in the market has their own software to process the data, but that software doesn't have a standardized output for use in software system. Other challenge is the lack of ready-to-fly UAVs. PixHack and Autopilot allow us to build customized UAV for the client needs, but it's hard to find a ready-to-fly reseller, and this is a problem because not all companies want to rely on handmade UAVs. Another challenge is the security and data privacy. I personally think it's one of the strong points of the PixHack platform because it allows us to use a personalized data link. Some companies are worried about the security because one of our principal customers also do mining about minerals that are used in military application to build radars and steal the aircraft. And when we came with this project, they were worried about his data privacy. And what the first warning they do to us is that if we were using DJI, because DJI is blacklisted and is suspected by rely some info to nobody knows where. Companies were worried about their privacy. Despite all the challenge, we come with a solution that is easy to use for companies that requires little modification of our Autopilot. This is the workflow of the system. When maintenance supervisors want to check some equipment, it creates an order in SAP. This order is then transmitted to a server that is operated by the final pilot that is going to be in our office, ideally, and we try that the pilot can be in any part of the world because we're trying to build a system that one pilot can work with many drones. And this service generates a flight plan that is compatible with ground control and then launch the drone. When the drone is flying, its video's images are input in a custom-trained open-source artificial intelligence named YOLO that outputs the frames that detect the equipment to inspect, and the Mablink telemetry with the detected frames are input in an image processor. Then the processor elaborates the final status report, and if the user has a ChatGPT subscription, the image is relayed to ChatGPT for a custom report about the equipment. If everything is okay, it reports okay, and the SAP and the maintenance advice is closed, otherwise it generates a message for taking action about that. ChatGPT is a powerful image processor. Here is a real photo that we take with a drone in Argentina in a lithium field mining operation. We can see that it will not only detect the object in the photos, it could also detect the state. If the truck is okay, if the people are working, it also could even detect if the personnel was wearing the protection they need. And the objective of the project is to make it more easy for companies the use of big SAC and drones and artificial intelligence with image recognition. This is a powerful tool, but there's another functionalities that could be added to make it even better, like package delivery. What's Innovation at Drone Up is doing a great job in this area. And the integration of our system is transparent because we could just simply sniff the ports of telemetry and video, and that's all. But the 5 key points are to develop a easy-to-use interface that has many advantages. It has an easy SAP integration, it has high availability, high efficiency. It also reduced the cost of maintenance in the industry. It has more precision than traditional method. It is also more secure for the company because they don't have to risk their workers to access the dangerous area. And obviously, a drone can access to areas that can be almost impossible in other scenarios. This system has the uses of stock control, has topographical, thermographic, environment control, pumps, etc. All this can be simply made with a good video link and the telemetry generated by the drone. There's a lot of development in progress. Most important features are being made. Like, for example, we have to integrate with the station data in ground control for avoiding flying in bad condition, because if the final pilot is going to operate the UAV remotely in the office, how he can know if it's raining? So having a data with integrated in ground control is a very nice thing. Make very easy the flight planning. Also, we need smart batteries and charger. Some people of ARC Electronics have been made some work in this area, but we are starting to develop a smart battery charger that has a Wi-Fi data output. And this data is reliable to the company software system that already keeps track about the LiPo battery performance, because as far we know, a LiPo battery is not performance equally forever. They degrade with use and age, and ERP software have already made a great work keeping track of these things. And they can easily make advice to the maintenance personnel that they have to buy new batteries, something like that. Another developing that we are having is to having taking in consideration the payload, weather, and battery state to make a better mission planning, take in consideration the performance of the battery, to know, to prevent that the user didn't make, for example, a big flight plan, be a long flight plan that the UAV can execute. We also try to develop the point of no return alarm inside the PixHawk firmware to know if the drone is going to fall or is going to land immediately or has to return before. And we also try to integrate 3D maps into ground control. Another collaborator of ground control named Omi Rafaelian has already made a working plugin. He's developed a plugin that is in beta state that allows to use to see the 3D maps inside the ground control. Here we could see the 3D buildings in the area, and we could track the flyer of the drone in 3D time. Oh, that's very nice. Looking at that in 3D. Another thing that we want to implement with this development is the data generated by obstacle avoidance system that is extremely useful for doing a better mission planning, for avoidance, power cables, trees, and things like that. Having a maintenance module implemented opened the door for the uses of UAV in the industry. And as far as I know, PixHawk and Autopilot are the only flexible and customizable platform UAV with industrial reality. Here I show the YOLO algorithm with a pre-trained dataset for the take custom image. That's a mini drone flying inside a house with a standard data set that comes with YOLO. It detects the plants, everything, and that's are the same street, but it's trained for a different purpose. That's in the public way. That's a data set for training for stock control, for detecting traffic lights. We have working a beta prototype of the system. We tested in a soccer field with a pre-trained dataset to detect the advertiser, we are using the Holy Bro Dev Kit. That the pipeline that is executing the drone is generated by the system and is perfectly compatible with ground control. And after that point, it comes to the return to launch pad and lands. After the system recollect all the image and the mapping telemetry, it generated output form that is accessed by the maintenance of engineer of the company, and they could see in a better way how is the state of the equipment. Well, thanks for your time. Any doubts, question? Excuse me, I couldn't hear. How do you organize packet?
Your last experience, that's an issue.
That?
Object detection. But yeah. So how do you perform to detect some object?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
To detect some object on the ground. And we know that your drone flight at high altitude.
Yes.
Altitude could not affect the precision of your model.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we have to make a good flight planning and use a good image quality camera to have a good picture for the algorithm could do a good recognition about the equipment. Because if it's too far, it's not going to see anything. But that's the objective of the system is to make something easy to use to companies. We are implementing obstacle avoidance system, so you could approach as far you need the drone to the equipment, so you have a good quality image, and the algorithm could make a good identification.
So in this case, how can I be sure of the accuracy of your models? Do you have the precision that give, for example, this target is object A, with the precision of 80%?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just to have, in this case, C, your drone flight.
Yeah.
I think that's the altitude or sometimes affects the precision of your model. So in this case, how do you process and evaluate the capability, performance of your robots?
You are meaning about the altitude and performance of the UAV, about the battery? Well, that's with the current sensor that actually is inside almost every Pixar kit and a test flight. you could use that data to analyze how high you could go, how far, how much weight you could lift with the UIV. Any other question? Thank you very much.